turns out that our history, our early history, was really fascinating, very rich. The changes that occurred, whether it was creation of the first fire companies, development, changes in technology, they all occurred because of major fires that went very poorly, and the city and the fire department decided to prevent a reoccurrence. So those were the changes that I saw and wrote about in this book.
And we were talking earlier, there was a really big fire in Green Bay that made a change in the city.
Correct. September 20th, 1880 was the Great Fire of Green Bay. And a fire basically burned from Mason Street and the Fox River all the way to Webster Street and the East River. 100 buildings were burned. The fire department was overwhelmed, and it all occurred because they lacked a municipal water system. They used cisterns, underground water tanks, and those were inadequate. So because of this big fire in 1880, a municipal water system with hydrants and underground mains was created and went in service a few years later.
And when we were flipping through this book earlier, what was cool is you have pictures of some of the buildings that still exist that you would be able to go see. It's just a really unique piece of history.
It is. It's exciting to discover something that was unknown like this fire in 1880, and the fact that there are 6 buildings that were directly threatened that survive to this day and are on the streets of Green Bay, just like they were in 1880.
And you made another really big discovery, too, about a fallen firefighter who never got his burial.
Right. In 1892, Hans Hansen was killed in the line of duty. It was his first day on the job, the first day for the full-time fire department. Excuse me. He was overly enthusiastic going to his first fire, and he drove his horse team too fast, overturned, was thrown, and died 4 days later. Now in 1892, that wasn't considered a line of duty death, so he didn't get a memorial. He was forgotten. But in our current culture, excuse me, that is considered a line of duty death. And we held a formal ceremony. A grave marker was installed because he was buried in an unmarked grave, and we treated him as if he had died a week ago.
That is really cool. And those are just 2 snippets of what's in this book. Where can people get their hands on it?
There are outlets in Green Bay, the Neville Public Museum, Heritage Hill, Boss's, and the Brown County Historical Society at Hazelwood.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, David. And if you'd like to read more on the forces of change, you can get it on Amazon or the places that we just mentioned right here in Green Bay. And you can get that information by visiting our website, NBC26.com.